my friends? Sean the Average Angler, and today we are going to talk about some more fall fishing. We're nearing October. I think the last day of the month's tomorrow. It is Monday morning. I'm filming this. I'm going to put it up on the page so y'all can absorb it. Hopefully by the weekend you can use this and go out and catch you some fish. Today we are going to talk about spinnerbaits. Okay? Spinnerbaits are awesome year-round, okay? But in the fall, spinnerbaits can be really, really awesome. As those shad get up in the shallows, nothing mimics shad quite the way that a spinnerbait does. Now, if you notice the ones I have here, they're all painted blades, okay? Where did I put the spinnerbait box? Oh, it's behind me. So I will use a standard gold, silver spinnerbait as well. So let's start with the painted and why I'm going to use painted blades. And there's several reasons. Low light is one. The other is going to be murky water. So if your water's discolored, doesn't have a lot of visibility, that's when I will go to painted blades. I will almost always throw painted blades at low light before the sun gets on the water, because without the sun, these blades don't reflect as much. And remember, in the fall, we want to be loud. We want to attract their attention. We want to draw them in. There's a chartreuse in white. I really like that during the springtime when the fish are pre-spawn mode, the white. And here is what I have rigged up. Now, again, I mentioned shad, but as I've mentioned in the other videos, bluegill are a big thing. And there you'll see that zoom grub on the back of the trailer again, just like the chatterbait. That's a green pumpkin purple on a chartreuse white. But look at these blades, and you'll see that this is a great bluegill imitator because of the different colors. This is a Nichols spinnerbait. It's a very compact spinnerbait. If you look to this War Eagle, it is quite a bit shorter and more compact. Now, as far as a rod, right now I have this rigged on a Irod Gen 3 733C. It's called the Lone Star Special. Also great for chatterbaiting. Now, I say right now because this will probably end up on another rod in the 7-foot range. Reason being, well, first let me cover this. 17 to 20 pound test on a spinnerbait. There's no reason to go light. A lot of times this is close quarters, hand-to-hand combat, and they're not looking at the line. It's a moving bait, very much like a chatterbait. If you need to change the line for the action on the bait, that's the only reason I would change, okay? For those that like to throw straight braid, have at it. Use a softer rod. You want to make sure that the fish can suck that bait in before you hit them. All right, so the reason I may go shorter, a spinnerbait to me is a close quarters contact bait, except if you're fishing it deep and you're slow rolling it. Then maybe you're making long casts across points, over points, out deeper. That's not what we're doing this time of year. This is shallow. This is target oriented, whether it's tulies, bulrushes, docks, stick-ups, wood. I'm target fishing. I'm trying to drop that in their house, roll it by them, and get them to react. Now, very much like a chatterbait, it's never a bad idea this time of year to do the juke. If you haven't If you don't know what the juke is, you need to go back and watch the Chatterbait video that I did a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, because on that one we talk about the juke. But very simply, it's a very light twitch with your rod tip down and then a slight pause. And what it does is it makes that bait jump and then drop a little bit. And it just, the change of pace often triggers those fish to react. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want to wait for them. We want to trigger them, okay? The longer they wait, the more opportunity there is for them to see something that isn't what they want or like, something to give it up that it's not real. My reel, Daiwa Tutula, 7.3 to 1. I can speed up, I can slow down. It works good for me. You can also use the 6.3 to 1 if you really wanted to. I don't recommend the 8. At times, I will, and now's the time of year for this, I will hold my rod tip up and keep the bait towards the top of the water, and I'll jiggle the rod like this as I'm reeling just to get that bait to come up and get those blades to slap on the surface like fleeing shad. That can be a very good trigger at times as well. Again, like any other bait, we need to experiment a little bit to find what they want for that day. That said, that's a really fun way to catch them, because oftentimes you see them come up and explode on it, much like a topwater bait. Even though it's not really topwater, you're just fishing the spinnerbait high in the column. The other time to do that is if you're fishing it over the top of grass, okay? And we may still have some grass this time of year, if you're in a state that doesn't kill it like California. So as the sun gets up, if I feel the bite is starting to fade on this, and look, let me go over one more thing. In the morning time, I don't care if the wind's blowing, okay? It could be slick, glass, calm, and I'm still going to throw a spinnerbait, at least enough to give it a try and find out that they're not biting it. When the sun gets up and they're not eating the painted blades, then I'm going to go to a standard color spinnerbait, right? Silver, gold. I like gold a lot around here, but I still mix in a silver. Now, I do prefer that's very compact. Okay, if you look at the body there to the back of the hook, it's really compact. This has a skirt that you wouldn't need a trailer on. And look at that, I have another one of those. There's a reason for that, folks. And it just reminded me that a few years ago when I was on Clear Lake, that was the bait they were eating. I'm trying to find something compact like that one. A friend of mine makes these. There's lots of compact spinnerbaits out there. The Molix is one. This is a Molix right here. They actually make really nice spinnerbaits. If you look at the finish on that head, it's got a great hook. They're not as popular, but they do have them at Bass Pro Shops. Or not Bass Pro Shops, Tackle Warehouse. This one's a little bit more just a standard spinnerbait. The reason I hate the rubber band, if I can show you that. See, it's all cracked. I have wire right here. I'm going to put it on there, wrap it around, and then we'll be fine. I already did that to the bait that I have tied on here. I just take the wire, wrap it around in front of that band twice, twist it, bend it over, and it's good to go. That skirt will never come off now. Rubber bands decay over time, and it ruins your baits. If you don't tie your own baits, get another skirt, whatever. All right, as the day gets later, we may go to a standard spinnerbait. That's a time where I'm going to be a little more concerned about wind. If it's slicked off and really clear, not saying they won't eat a spinnerbait, because at times they will, it's just typically not as good. That's when you may go to that square bill crankbait. You may go to a mid-running crankbait, but crankbaits tend to work better in slicked off conditions in clear water. It's a good time to get out. Boat traffic's dying down. People are starting to go in the hills and mountains and go hunting. The recreational people are disappearing, and it's our time again to enjoy the great outdoors. Sean, the Average Angler, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.